WWE crowns a new king, new queen, a new women's champ, and Cody Rhodes still reigns on high. And we're going to address someone's hot take of the top Paul Heyman guy.
And here we go.
Is like gravity. All it takes is a little push.
What's up, guys? How you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Glad you stopped by. And if you're brand new, welcome. Grab a seat and stay a while. But do me a couple favors first. Go down and hit that subscribe button. Go next door, ring that bell. Make sure it says all so you know when the next video pops up. Hit that like button. And before you head out, drop a comment. And if you're one of the regulars here, welcome back for another round. As you also hit that like button. And before you leave, drop a comment, because YouTube does love the comments. And of course, share the video out on all social media. Okay, before we get into the King and Queen of the Ring review, there were a lot of announcements, so let's start and go over those really quick. On Thursday last week, Paul Levesque announced that the King and Queen of the Ring winners are now guaranteed a championship title match at this year's SummerSlam, which was also announced that in 2026, just like WrestleMania, SummerSlam will now be a two-night event.
Now we're talking.
Now, during the show, he also announced that for Clash of the Castle, which is coming up in 2 weeks from Saturday, Damian Priest will defend his World Heavyweight Championship against Drew McIntyre in Glasgow, Scotland. Now, before the actual show started, at the tail end of the pre-show, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match. This match was really nothing important. It only lasted about 8 minutes. And the titles were retained by Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Now, for more commentary on that, be sure to tune in tonight, as I'm sure someone will want to talk about it. That'll be on Wednesday night is Overbooked.
Stay tuned for more.
And now we're going to get to the main card right here, where the first match of the night was for the Women's World Championship. This was Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. The Man versus the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. And this was a decent match. It lasted about 15 minutes and was probably Liv Morgan's best one-on-one performance this year thus far. Now, the story of the match is, after being seen with Liv Morgan in a backstage segment, Dirty Dominic Mysterio saying that he's not going to let Liv get her hands on his mommy's idol, being Rhea Ripley, puts a chair in the ring for Becky to use on Liv Morgan, get herself disqualified, and still retain the title. He even goes as far as to distract the referee, only for Liv to hit a DDT on the chair with Becky, setting up the Oblivion, and your new Women's World Champion is Liv Morgan. Next, we had the Intercontinental Championship. This was Bronson Reed versus Chad Gable versus the current champion, Sami Zayn. This match lasted about 11 minutes, and this match was really just action-packed. Now, while Sami Zayn did retain the title, the overarching story here is that of Chad Gable and his beratement of the Alpha Academy, particularly Otis. And this story only gets better, and as we'll talk about in a bit, this story is really starting to cook.
Spicy.
And then we come to the Queen of the Ring finals. This is a classic David and Goliath story, as we had the NXT upstart Lyra Valkyria versus the irresistible force Nia Jax. This match lasted about 10 minutes, and the match itself wasn't bad, just wasn't particularly exciting. Now, Lyra had a good showing for herself, but it wasn't enough, as Nia Jax is the new Queen of the Ring and has a guaranteed championship spot for the WWE Women's Championship for SummerSlam coming up in August.
That is exciting.
And now that brings us to the King of the Ring final, a match between Gunther and Randy Orton. A match of, frankly, two of the best in-ring performers past and present. This match lasted about 21 minutes, and Randy, while still selling a knee injury, withstood the pounding style of the Ring General. But it wasn't enough, as Gunther got the 1-2-3, the crown, and the title King of the Ring. Or did he? Randy's left shoulder was clearly off of the mat. Now, while Paul Levesque did say that the referee's decision is final, he also said, sooner rather than later, we're getting a rematch.
Oh my God. Yes.
And now that brings us to the main event for the WWE Championship, Cody Rhodes versus the United States Champion, Logan Paul. Honestly, this match I had the least interest in, as in this match has really no story going into it and no story going forward. This match lasted about 24 minutes, and Logan Paul just continues to get better and better and better in the ring as a heel, as a villain. This guy is an absolute stud. And this match was an absolute banger, as Cody Rhodes is one of the best in-ring storytellers. And the end result, of course, is the same. Cody Rhodes is still your WWE champion. Now that brings us to this past Monday on Raw from Savannah, Georgia. Kind of a lackluster show, but I want to go highlight some storylines that are actually being moved forward. Now, one is the dynamic with, as I said before, Chad Gable and the Alpha Academy, as Chad continues to belittle his entire team, especially Otis. Now, heel Chad is working absolutely perfectly, as the in-ring segment, he was thwarted from actually taking off his belt and giving Otis a whooping. When Otis finally turns on him, the fans are going to absolutely lose their mind.
Yes! 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 Yes!
And now, during a rematch of a first-round King of the Ring match, we had Ricochet versus Ilya Dragunov. And this match was, again, just another banger match. Not as good as their first-round match, but still pretty good. When, out of nowhere, Braun Breaker just broke Ricochet in half with a spear. Now, Braun was not supposed to be at the show. He was suspended for hitting Ricochet backstage with a spear the previous week. He is clearly not listening to Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. And apparently this story is not over, as we've got the young upstart talent not liking the confines and having to play by the rules. And not gonna lie, when Braun just blasted Ricochet,
Dude, that was awesome!
and the other storyline is, what the hell is going on with the Judgment Day and the new women's champion, Liv Morgan? Now, post WrestleMania, Liv has been seen in some backstage segments off in the background somewhere with the likes of Finn Balor, JD McDonough, most notably Dominic Mysterio. Now, Dominic, while seemingly trying to thwart Liv's goals of being the women's world champion, have not been successful, as his antics have caused Liv to not only win the women's championship, but last night retain her women's championship. And if that wasn't causing a rift in the Judgment Day, if you were watching the show on USA, you missed this. Yeah. Dom, you got some splaining to do. Mommy's not gonna be happy.
Whoops.
So yeah, Liv Morgan. Safe to say she's come a long way since her NXT call-up days with the Riot Squad. Now, in the WWE short documentary on her, she attributes the revival of her career to conversations she had when she was approached by WWE Hall of Famer, that being Paul Heyman. Now, Paul Heyman has been instrumental for a great many careers within professional wrestling, offering guidance and vision, most of it we never see because it's off screen. Now in front of the camera, Paul is probably one of the greatest managers who's ever been in professional wrestling. The notable superstars that he has attached himself with have been given the name the Paul Heyman Guys. Now, last week on Wednesday Night is Overbooked, someone made a claim, or hot take, as to the greatest Paul Heyman guy. Now, that caused me to think, as I came up with a top 5 of who I think fit this category. Now, I apologize ahead of time for the maybe dozen Curtis Axel fans. Sorry, he did not make the list. Now, coming in at number 5, we're going to go back to the days of the WCW when Paul was working with a superstar called Mean Mark Callis. Under his advisement, Mean Mark Callis jumped ship to the WWF, and from there became an absolute phenom, setting a record that frankly will never be touched. That is a 21 straight WrestleMania match win streak. Of course, I'm talking about the Dead Man, the Phenom, the American Badass, the Undertaker. Now, next we have a stunning former WCW talent that also moved to the WWF and was given the Ring Master gimmick. We were blissfully relieved of that, as that gimmick was dropped, and then upon a King of the Ring tournament win, we got the face of the Attitude Era. And coming in at number 4 is the Texas Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Number 3, we come away from WCW and we go to ECW, and a former champion for Paul Heyman's promotion. This was a former indie darling that upon arriving during the Ruthless Aggression era under Paul Heyman set a record for that time frame with an over 430-day title run. At number 3, we have the Second City Saint, the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk. Now it gets a little dicey here, as at my next I have probably the greatest WWE rookie year ever. Now, under his guidance, this superstar was a 10-time champion and, most notably, ended The Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. He is the 1 in 21 and 1. At number 2, the Conqueror, the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And now, which superstar gets the top spot? Well, if you think about it, it's pretty self-explanatory. This was a superstar that was stale and had taken some time off during the COVID, the lockdown time frame, and came back and was not just revived, but became elevated under Paul Heyman to become the greatest champion of the modern era. A title run of over 1,300 days. I mean, is it any question that the top Paul Heyman guy sits at the head of the table? It's the tribal chief. It's Roman Reigns. I mean, was there ever any doubt?
Duh.
But these are just my thoughts. I'm going to turn it back over to you. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Be sure to check me out tonight. As I mentioned before, Wednesday night is Overbooked, 7 p.m. Simulcasting from this channel from Legion Talk as well. Also, check me out Thursday as he's back. Yes, Roman of the Empire is back. We'll be simulcasting from his show as well. 5 p.m. Pacific. That will be on Thursday. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, folks. Again, quick reminder before you head out the door. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that bell if you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you didn't like the video. Hey, thanks for sticking around this long. I appreciate that. And I will see you guys all very soon. Hope you're having a great week. Have a great rest of the week ahead of you. and always have fun. Hashtag keep talking, and always keep that smile on your face. Toodles.
I say you better